Hello, how is your week going? And how is your remote job search going? Are you all in? Is it happening? Well, hopefully by the end of this episode, it will be. Now, I live in a beach location conducive to the remote work style, owing to a very minimalist, no frills, but highly functional workspace that also doubles as a hostel. But actually, first, quickly, before I get into the story, there are going to be 25 to 30 episodes in the season. But if you want to fast track your remote job search, then you can head over to stephanieholland.co, where I offer personalized remote career plans and consults. So over there, when you're there, you can sign up for my list and I'll keep you up to date on what I'm offering and when. So let's get into this episode. I live in a remote beach location conducive to the remote work style. But when I tell people that I work remotely, two things happen. One is that they immediately assume I'm a digital nomad, and it conjures images of backpacks and hostels and traveling a lot. And just as quickly, two, they decide they could never do that, and nor would they ever want to. And rightly so, fair play, because it's a very intense and specific lifestyle. But here's the thing. Digital nomads have become inextricably linked with remote working because they do it for a living and they blog about it a lot. But the association does the remote work style and the world a disservice because digital nomads are only 10% of the remote workforce, and I am not one of them. Now, digital nomads are location independent through the nature of their work. They leverage technology for their job. So if you watch the previous episode, you will know that they are a knowledge worker. But you've seen the laptop on the beach in their bikini, Instagram photos, which actually, by the way, is impossible due to the glare of the sun and really impractical due to the amount of sand that gets into your laptop and in your eyes when you work on the beach. But anyway, digital nomads typically take advantage of their location independence to travel from place to place. It's a lifestyle choice, and they stop in places that they like for a few days or a few months at a time. They can be remote employees, they can be independent contractors or freelancers, they can run their own business. And as you know, a lot of them are also bloggers that earn inordinate amount of money through their blog by driving traffic to their website, because so many people are envious of this glamorized and ridiculous, frankly, version of the digital nomad lifestyle. It's really probably the remote work style's giant hoax. So that's another episode that I probably won't create. But all I want to say is this: don't let episodes of young and hot 20-somethings in front of incredible vistas toting backpacks make you feel like the whole remote thing is not for you, okay? They only represent 10% of the remote workforce. Now, I am 43. I'm a marketing strategist with almost 2 decades of real work and business experience, and I'm location independent, which means that I could move my life to another country tomorrow with minimal disruption to my life and my work. But instead, I use that location independence that I've created to live or experience different locations every year, and only 3 of them. So I go to the same towns, I have the same community, I have the same apartment in each location, I cook for myself, I work in my kitchen, my favorite cafe or my library, I have close friends, I feel very settled and happy in my life. And honestly, just the idea of moving from place to place makes me feel exhausted. The last time I really traveled in the digital nomad sense was in 2013. I was writing my first book, and that's when I fell in love with Mexico, and it became one of my 3 favorite places to spend time in. So you don't have to travel or move country or anything like that to enjoy the freedom and flexibility that a remote career offers. But the location independence you do gain from a remote role means that you can if you want to. But otherwise, you can work from your kitchen table in the house you've lived in for the last 6 years. You don't need to move or travel. But I caution you, once you do enter the remote lifestyle, once you do transition to a remote role, you might be hooked for life. A Buffer survey actually found that 90% of remote workers intend to work remotely for life. So how do you know if you could be an ideal remote worker? We're going to talk about more specific skills and characteristics that you need to have or cultivate in a forthcoming episode. But for now, I want to talk you through the 6 traits and really the baseline requirements from my point of view that really kind of set you ahead of the curve as an ideal remote employee. One, you need to be a knowledge worker. We talked about this in the last episode. Information transmitted by technology is the bedrock of our lives, right? Now, most of us can't even do yoga or breathwork exercises without an app next to us on our mobile phone. And it's this technology shift that's precipitated the rise of what we now think of as a knowledge society, where we now create value with our minds instead of working in the fields with our muscle. The information is here, has been for a while. So if you have a laptop and get paid to think, and then you use technology to create, transmit, and share that thinking, then you're a knowledge worker. So if you're a landscape gardener, this probably isn't you if you need to be in the garden. But if you founded or work for or a landscape gardening company that maybe has departments in governance, strategy, finance, sales, marketing, HR, research and development, IT, customer service, quality control, distribution, sourcing, I was going to say surfing, design, product development, engineering, you get the gist, right? Any department on the business side, then you are a knowledge worker. Tick. 2, you need to have a specific skill set. Now, like any job search, you need to know what you're looking for, like copywriter, marketing specialist, product engineer, or UX designer, job title. So what you do is express through your job title and your list of specific skills. Job-specific skills, which serves two purposes, right? It helps you with a specific job search, and it lets future employers know what you can do and how you can serve them. So it's a bit like where you come from. When you tell someone you're from London, it gives them a frame of reference and a contextual understanding of who you are, at least a little bit. Now, it's really fine to be a generalist, but it won't really help you with an efficient job search. You need to know your expertise within your generalism. So list all of your alternative job titles, you list all of your job skills and the different ways they can be referred to in your industry and by other industries. And if you need help with that, I guide you through a quick exercise in the worksheet that goes with this episode. Okay, so 3, you really need to be passionate about the career that you're building. Remote work is not an easy ride. It has similar challenges to a co-located job, plus additional challenges characterized by a remote work style and lifestyle. So ideally, it needs to be something that you're really passionate about building a career in. So what characterizes, thank you motorbike, what characterizes a career versus a job? So a career is longer term, it involves professional growth, it aligns with your career skills and values. You bring the best of yourself to every piece of work. You feel motivated to grow, to learn, and to give back. You love what you do. And this doesn't mean you have to choose between being an employee for the rest of your life and running your own business. You might want to work in a variety of ways, in a variety of different working arrangements. It just means that whatever role you do, whether it's running your own business or working for someone else, that it typically follows some kind of theme that you're really passionate about. So for example, maybe you're passionate about fitness, health and fitness, and you could do marketing for a fitness app, an early tech startup, for example. Then you might move into product development for a healthcare app. And then you might launch your own strength training program for women, okay? You have a passion for health and fitness. It's your career theme and you're really passionate about it, okay? So 4, you need to be really good at what you do. So that might be self-explanatory, but even if you're entry level, you need to show a degree of capability, whether it's from a previous role, a previous career, a university project, or some kind of internship. You can do some kind of career training or education in the field you're getting into to show enthusiasm and offer a baseline skill set. Okay, it's really important. So recently, I did a UX design course with Skill Crush to demonstrate my passion for product development and digital platforms so I can move into marketing in those areas. But it also, by the same token, if you're experienced, you need to be able to either show your work as a portfolio, show what you're capable of in response to a brief, or be able to gather testimonials from previous employers or clients. 5, you need to have a strong work ethic. Now, working remotely might involve long periods of time working alone without anybody looking over your shoulder and checking that you're actually doing the work. Now, you have to have this innate internal guidance system that drives you to produce and get stuff done. Now, work ethic drives you so much further than talent alone, right? And Will Smith agrees with me. He said, "I never viewed myself as particularly talented. Where I excel is ridiculous, sickening work ethic." So true, okay? Number 6, Don't have enough fingers. Obviously, you need to be organized, right? You need to know what needs to be done, and then you need to do it. So working flexible hours and having more freedom actually makes this more challenging for some people. So you have to come up with your own strategies to stay organized within your new work and lifestyle. So some companies will help extract this from their teams. Now, in my last remote role, we had a daily update channel in Slack where we posted done, doing, and to do, and roadblocks at the end of every day. And so that really motivated me to list out as many as possible in the done section. The most savvy remote first companies will actually prioritize output over hours. So if you can't organize yourself to get the work done, you're not even going to make it past the trial period. Now we're going to talk more about specific skills and characteristics in another episode, as I mentioned. But for now, these are the kind of 6 traits, and I think really the most important baseline requirements that you need to find and succeed in a remote role. But so if you have the podcast study pack 3, you can open worksheet 2 where you will do the remote worker quiz. Now I will guide you through each of the 6 traits, the baseline requirements, so that you can see where you stack up against them and see whether, how you can cultivate them, whether you want to, and whether you really want to put some serious skin in the game. Do it. It's really fun. I'm so good at creating fun worksheets. If you don't have a copy yet, head over to stephanieholland.co /podcast pack 3 or the show notes at stephanieholland.co /53. I'm losing track. I've got so many episodes, and you can get your copy right there. Until then, keep living and working on your own terms so that you can build your career and the life you really want simultaneously. I'll see you next week. Bye.